Super Smash Bros. Is a series famous for many things, but one that does not get talked about as much as stages. A lot of the focus when it comes to Smash is the gameplay and the fighters, but the stages are arguably just as important. However, I'm not here to discuss what stages I think are good or bad. Instead, I'm here to talk about the stages that we don't have in Smash, specifically stages that by all means should be in the game, but for some reason they just aren't. So without further ado, let's begin. First up is Urchin Underpass, or at least some other iconic stage or area from Splatoon 1. While I am a fan of Moray Towers in the Splatoon games themselves, I don't think it was quite the right choice to represent Splatoon in Smash. Although I do get why they chose it, because they wanted to have the multiple levels that Moray Towers is known for, as it makes the stage stand out compared to other Splatoon maps, as well as other Smash stages. But personally, I think that a more iconic map would have been a better choice, specifically Urchin Underpass. This is the very first map ever revealed for Splatoon way back at E3 2014 when the game was first revealed. It quickly became the most iconic map of the franchise. It even made its way into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as a battle map, although it somehow never made a return in Splatoon 2 despite them bringing back several other Splatoon 1 maps over the course of the game's lifespan, including Moray Towers for that matter, which is probably one of the reasons why they decided to put it in Smash in the first place, because hey, this is a map that's actually in the current game you can play on the Switch, whereas Urchin Underpass isn't, but that's a topic for another day. However, there are other iconic maps from Splatoon 1 that I think would be good substitutes if for whatever reason they didn't want to do Urchin Underpass, such as Salt Spray Rig, or Blackbelly Skate Park, or heck, maybe even do Mahi Mahi Resort, which is my personal favorite Splatoon map, which also sadly did not return in Splatoon 2. There was one other map that I think could work well as a stage in Smash, however, and that is Inkopolis Plaza. In fact, someone has already done this. This is a Smash Wii U mod called Super Smash Bros. Deluxe created by Mika Dubs. This is actually one of the best mod packs for this game due to the large amount of new stages, some of which are direct ports from Smash 3DS. It's honestly kind of funny looking at the upscaled 3DS stages compared to their official remade variants in Ultimate, because it's quite literally night and day. But anyways, this is Inkopolis Plaza in Deluxe. It actually looks pretty good for a fan-made stage, and while it's obviously not perfect, you can see a couple of the textures aren't super high-res and stuff like that, but this is a pretty solid template for what I would have actually liked to see. But at the end of the day, I definitely think Urchin Underpass should have been the stage to represent Splatoon in Smash. I was honestly kind of surprised when Ultimate didn't include a new Pokemon stage based on Alola, despite every Smash game up until this point releasing with a Pokemon stage from the, at the time, newest generation. Not to say Alola didn't get any representation, of course. After all, we got Alola Pokemon as Pokeballs, several new remixes, and of course Incineroar himself. However, we got a new Zelda and Mario stage to represent their newest installments, so why not Pokemon? Smash 4 added not one, but two Kalos stages to represent Greninja in Gen 6, Prism Tower on 3DS, and Kalos Pokemon League on Wii U. Not to mention that they even threw Gen 5 a bone with Unova Pokemon League on 3DS as well. My guesses for why Alola didn't get a stage in Ultimate was for two main reasons. First is that their main focus for the base game was to bring back as many stages as possible, and less so on creating new stages, the opposite of how previous Smash games were usually developed. So for the few new stages they did create for the base game, they wanted to focus on stages that absolutely had to be there no matter what. And a Breath of the Wild and Odyssey stage were a no-brainer. And of course they needed to have a Splatoon and Castlevania stage, because those series are newcomers to Smash. Well, if you don't count the Inkling Me costumes from Smash 4, but you know what I mean. By comparison, an Alola stage will be representing a generation that's not even on the Switch. Plus, Let's Go and Sword and Shield were already in development alongside Ultimate anyways, which might also play a part into why they decide not to put a stage in the game as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they chose Incineroar partly because they could just use Boxing Ring as his quote-unquote stage due to the whole wrestling trait he has. Maybe I'm thinking too deep into this, but regardless, I do think that an Alola stage would have been nice to have, even if it would have been outdated within a year of Ultimate's release anyway. Mario has the most stages of any franchise in Smash at the grand number of 20, most of which are in Ultimate. However, despite this grand number, we have still yet to receive a stage based on Dr. Mario, despite his presence in Smash for quite some time. However, at one point this stage may have actually been on the table. Buried in Smash Wii U's files were references to the viruses from Dr. Mario, and it is speculated that these were intended to be used on a Dr. Mario stage that was cut sometime during development. In fact, this very find is probably what inspired this old leak from 2015. Yeah, anyone remember this leak? It was making the rounds at the same time as this leak for Great Bay returning in Smash 3DS. Of course, both leaks ended up being fake, but we did end up getting Great Bay back in Ultimate, thankfully. But the Dr. Mario stage, well, not quite. Although a Dr. Mario stage that was most likely based on this old leak did eventually make its way into Legacy XP at some point, so that's pretty neat. But as far as official releases go, it is yet to make an appearance. Tetris is one of the most well-known games of all time. It's like Pac-Man in that it's one of those games that literally everyone has heard of at some point, even if they have never picked up a controller in their lifetime. Tetris first got represented in Smash and Brawl in the form of 2 remixes, and they got Spirits in Ultimate in an update. But I say that's not quite enough. Considering how iconic Tetris is, plus the fact that we got 2 songs already that don't really have a proper home, I think a Tetris stage is a no-brainer. Now, I'm not saying that we would need a Tetris block to be playable or anything, but a stage, absolutely. Plus, the concept for how that stage would function is pretty straightforward. You have blocks come down, and if they fill up a line, then it disappears. Basically, you'd be playing inside a normal match of Tetris. At least that's how I've seen it. It's true that nowadays, when a third-party stage is added to Smash, it always comes alongside a fighter, but if there's one stage that should break that trend, I definitely think it should be Tetris. This is a stage that no one was and is really clamoring for, to be fair, but I figured I'd give it a quick mention just because how its omission back in Smash 4 was a little strange when you think about it. I personally have never played Fates, and therefore I have no idea what they would do for a stage based on this game. I know that Fates isn't exactly the most beloved entry in the series, but considering how Ryu, Cloud, and Bayonetta, all brand new characters, got new stages alongside them, it's a little weird that Corrin didn't, especially considering that he was added to promote Fates, so you would think that giving him a stage that's from the game you're trying to promote would make sense. Ultimately, it's not that big of a deal, hence why it's here in the honorable mentions, and again, no one really was and is clamoring for this stage, but I figured I'd give it a mention because it is a little odd when you think about it. Oh well, at least we got that sweet remix of the main theme though. If there is one stage that makes all the sense in the world to be in Smash, yet it somehow isn't, I believe that honor right now goes to Bowser's Castle. Bowser is the main antagonist of the Mario series, and despite the Mario series, as mentioned previously, having nearly 20 stages over the course of Smash's 20-year history, Bowser somehow hasn't gotten one yet. In Ultimate, Mario himself has 15, Luigi has 1, Peach has 2, Yoshi, while in Smash treated as a separate series, has 4, and if you want to stretch it to include Wario, he has 2. We have all these stages, and yet Nintendo's most famous villain doesn't get one for some reason. Also, what's kind of interesting about it is that there's already a great Bowser's Castle stage in Smash, just not in any of the official games. I'm of course referring to the Bowser's Castle stage from Project M. In fact, it was added in one of the last updates for the game before it ended in 2015, and it's a great looking stage, even today. It's also been featured in newer mods such as Legacy XP and Project Plus, so its legacy is definitely not forgotten, even nowadays. Now, of course, if we ever got a Bowser's Castle stage in the future, it probably won't look quite like this, especially since they would probably have the stage be located outside the castle rather than inside like it is on this stage. But regardless of what the stage is, where it's going to be located, or what castle or game they base it on, I don't really care. Bowser's Castle is definitely a stage that deserves to make an appearance in Smash sometime in the future. So, that was my opinion on some stages that I believe make all the sense in the world to be in Smash, but for whatever reason, they just aren't. Of course, this video is not the be-all and end-all for any potential new Smash stages, even for me. In fact, I may do another video later on that goes a bit more out of the box compared to this one, but we shall see. And with that being said, this is Logan589XP, and I will see you guys next time.